This video is going to be about the cQ-Baseline Trend Direction Indicator, version 1.1. This group of indicators replaces the cQ-Baseline Trend Direction Standard and Advanced indicators. I put those out last year. I'm now dropping the standard and the advanced versions and this is now just called version 1.1. I fixed a few things, and I think these are better. They're easier to use than the baseline trend direction and standard deviation inverted version. It has the pre-smooth. It has a number of moving average types plus super trend. You have 32 moving average types for the bands, and it has a number of different calculation modes. Right now it's using the standard deviation price, and it's reversed. So what I'll do, I'll show you what the standard deviation price non-reversed looks like. Looks like that. If you get something like this, you can also just reduce the deviation, just to get it a little closer. So just because it's out there like that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad setting. You have to play with the stuff. You can use something like that, for example. Okay, the pre-smooth apply to bands. Currently, they're not being applied to bands. So if I were to go here and just change that to yes, it just applies the pre-smooth moving average to the bands. That's all that does. These modes here, the DATR and the ATR, and then high-low, they don't use standard deviation. They're really just moving averages. The DATR is the directional ATR, the up and the down, run through this ALMA in this period. And then it uses this ATR multiplier of 1. And that's what that looks like. Some of these may be very close to the baseline, so you may have to increase this multiplier right here. The same thing with the standard deviation. There's a number of settings. This will take the ATR and apply a standard deviation to this ATR value up here, for example. That's all. This standard deviation just applies it to whatever the function after it is. The reverse, again, will reverse, flip. The upper band will now be placed in the lower band and vice versa. And then there's a 3-color mode. Increase this a bunch just so you can see what I'm talking about. Right now we're in 2-color mode. It's either going to be up or down, blue or orange. And if you say show 3 colors, say yes, where it falls under this band, right here, for example, it'll make it gray. And that's where this band's no trend hold period comes in. See, it fell back below this band. And after 3 candles, there's 1, 2, 3. On the 4th candle, it stops drawing. If I were to change this, say to 0, that's what you get. Right when it's on the inside of these bands, that's like the no trade zone. It turns it gray. So you can control that with this value right here. And then it has percent filter, which you can apply. It applies it to the output. And then if you wanted this setting, we'll save this setting. And we'll load it in down here. So now you can see that this histogram follows the trend direction indicator. So you can just put it down here, and then after you find your setting, you can either remove it or just turn it off. There's a number of different types of moving averages. I think there is 16 or so, and each one has its own matching histogram. There are a few special use cases that don't necessarily follow the flowchart that I outlined. One of them is this EOTF, which is this indicator here. And this parameter right here, usually it's SMA, EMA, SMMA, or LWMA. These are the choices, but you can use one of these other ones if you want. And it can change it a lot, so you can give it a try. The other one is the half trend, or the step EMA. We'll use the step EMA. It has the same thing, where it has a post-smooth rather than a pre-smooth. So, for example, right now, this is step MA RSI. Change the function here. So there's the period, has a normalization period as well. But you can also apply a post-smooth. So we'll just make it 10. So you'll come across it. It's part of the half trend, Kijunsen, simple trend, and the step MA, and then the super trend and the super duper trend. So all those will have a post-smooth rather than a pre-smooth. One other special case is the slope MA. It also has a similar thing where you can change the mode moving average to any of these. Obviously, that drastically changed how it responds. So you'll have to just play with them to find something that you like. So give it a shot if you're interested.